Okay, it's day 53, Screenwriter's Journey, day 4 of Apology Tour for Low Resolution. This is a very short day, which I'm thankful for because of that. But what are we doing back? Okay, so yesterday I was working on that whole idea of Holly's self imposed ticking clock, erasing stakes. If she really did have to leave in 3 hours or whatever, and she only had that much time, and then the question became, is it that big of a deal? It's not like a bomb's going to go off. She's just going to possibly miss a flight and her job opportunity, which, kind of could be a big deal. So I think I'm back here on page 4 to figure out a more, or to introduce, foreshadow kind of, but set up a more important, more of a big deal thing. Um, so let's see what's going on here. 14 years on the launch pad. So we got this whole motif of yeah, gosh, it's sometimes it's just painful to go back and see what you've written, and maybe again people watching this are like, oh, either, hey, well, that's pretty good, Jack, or gosh, whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. But I assume if I don't like it, you don't like it. I'm just going to assume that. So we got this whole motif. If he's got the envelope and he's pretending it's a rocket ship and 14 years on the launch pad. And then he rotates it like, a rocket on the whatever, and then it's going to count down, and then her career is literally going to get launched into orbit. All systems go. And so I'm kind of glad this is hard to read, and I hope you're not reading it. Oh gosh, it's just, dare I say, cringeworthy. And maybe there's someone out there who goes, wow, Jack, that's a very insightful way to write. It's got a lot of subtext and blah, blah, blah. And others, like me, looking back, are like, no, it's extremely bad. So I think what you have to do when writing is, with the benefit, I guess, of time, it's not hindsight being 2020, because it's not 2020 until it's 100% perfect. If you had written the movie, or if it had got made into a movie, then you could come back and go, oh, well, I should have done that. But when you're writing, I don't think you could say, oh, I've got 2020 hindsight. Now this scene's perfect, because you frankly don't know until someone buys it and then pays you a lot of money for it. And then it gets made into a great movie. Then you know that your hindsight was 2020. But in this instance, you just have to be honest with yourself and say that scene isn't working. Divorce yourself from it and say, who wrote that trash? And go back and do it better, and then do it better, and then do it better. And I think a lot of writers, oh my goodness, that was a short day. So let me just get on my high horse here. I think a lot of writers don't do that. I think they either think, wow, I got through my first draft of my first or second or third or 10th script, or 20th. I'm sure I've written at least 50 screenplays. I'd have to go back and look, and the only ones that have got made are the ones that I did myself, which I've talked about, so I won't. But I think a lot of writers get done, and they're, speaking of high horses, they sort of get on theirs and they send it out expecting to hear great things back. And I speak 100% from experience, and then it's like, wow, why did you send this to me? Or why did you post it for peer reviews? Because this thing is just not good. And it could be, not good story. It could be terrible dialogue. It could be structurally bad. It could be full of typos and just unconventional whatever. But you just, it takes time of writing. It takes the amount of writing. They say the 10,000 hour thing. And I think I may have talked about this, and I haven't added them up, but I think I've passed 10,000 hours. And certainly it doesn't necessarily take 10,000 hours to get good at something, but it's certainly taken me that long. And as you see by some of the stuff that I'm writing, I'm just not happy with it 2 weeks later or 2 months later. So, but on the other hand, the script I wrote, Ripple, which I've mentioned, I think, and please, especially if you are a producer, please request it. I reread that for the first time in like 4 or 5 months a couple weeks ago because someone wanted to read it. So I said, well, let me go through it. So I went through it, and I found some very small things, not structural, not much, just that I wanted to tweak or condense or whatever. And then I sent it to him. He read it very quickly, and I'm not going to go into what he said other than he had like 3 problems. And I said, okay, yeah, I can see that, or I can whatever. And I pretty much addressed them, and it didn't take long because I knew right where to go to fix it. But what is the point of this? The point is you've got to be incredibly humble. You've got to be incredibly thick-skinned. You've got to be not stuck in your ways. Again, unless you're going to be a producer, writer, director, auteur, and are going to completely do it, and you don't care what the public thinks, which I think is a tough way to make a living, unless you're just, I don't know, doing it for fun. But so I guess I'm saying all this because it was a short day, and at least I don't have to, and you don't have to look at a bunch of crappy resolution trying to read through my script. But day 53's come to an end. I will try not to go out on a tangent unless you enjoy these tangents. If you do, this may be, I'll say it. If you're learning something, if you think they're valuable, leave a comment and let me know and tell me how much you appreciate everything I'm doing and chronicling my screenwriter's journey, because it really would mean a lot. Even if 2 people or 1 person or 100 people said, hey, Jack, thanks for doing this, that would be awesome. But if not, that's fine too, because it's been kind of cool doing it. All right, I'm going to sign off on day 53. Thanks, as always, for joining me, and I'll see you next time.